So one of the other jobs naturally with any service is we're going to check the brakes. Yes, she's done 100k, yes, she's done a lot of miles. I will be looking at doing the lines soon, but anyone that owns a VFR 800 knows how complex the brake system is. It takes a lot of effort to fit the new system and bleed it. There's about 7 bleed nipples on this bike, if I believe right, altogether. Whereas a normal bike, you bleed the one on the front, bleed the one on the rear. Even on combi brakes, on most modern combi brake systems, it's not as complex as this one is. It's really, really complex. So that being said, all we're going to do, we're going to just take the brakes off, give them a check, have a look at the fluid, bleed a few sections, what we can bleed, maybe, but generally just a good ground check of the brake pad, see how they're all going. Next year, that'll be another job. See, she's had a lot of work, a lot of money spent on her, and unfortunately, as much as I'd love to, I can't afford to restore everything, so I've still got to do some in bits. And the beauty of this, before I do carry on, I'm just going to prove how much work you can do with an old style Honda toolkit. This came with the bike. You'd be surprised how much work you can do to your bike with just this. These, normally you have to take the wheel off. It makes life easy, but you don't need to do this. Reach in with Levy's toolkit, crack like that, and then just back here, same again, it fits just right. Come on, gets it. Literally, just there, you can just see when my finger's pointing, there's a nut there. Not too difficult to get to. I'll try this on the little gimbal, not the actual tripod, because it's all low down. So you just crack them and crack them. If we do take them out, however, get your brake pad bolt out. That should just come cracking out. There we go. I was the last person to service it, so naturally it'll come apart lovely. Can be a bit of a faff this one to get out because of the limited range. But as I said, the challenge stands. I'm going to do this using Levy's toolkit. We'll show you a little trick to make this easier in a second. Now I've cracked that loose. Take your bolts out. Before you take this one out, it's easier to get this back one here. You can reach in with your fingers and just spin it out. I'm going to try and see if you can get as much as you can. It's hard because it's a very tight spot. You'll see more of the caliper in a second. Oh, and yes, you will get very dirty when you're working on a brake caliper. Very dirty. Clean that a bit. If you've never done this before, on this rear one, your bolts might not come out as easy as these did. I use copper grease on them, and I've never had a problem taking them out ever since I've done that. The first time's always been a nightmare, but ever since, and they've never come loose on me. I know people say use Loctite, but on these, I've never had them come loose, so I'll keep using copper grease. Never had them come loose, but I've never had them seize. Can't argue with that. Now with your, there we go. Now if it dislodged, you can move it down a little bit and get access to the pen. Once it's certain enough, there we go. It's got loose, it's certain enough. There we are. It's out. Here it is. As you can see, there's two. So I'll move this see. 2, that's 1. So one minute. So me. Enjoying by manager. What? Come on, then. Being inspected. Go on, yeah. Okay, it's bugging off. Yeah, all you gotta do, loosen away. As I said, you got 2 bleed nipples there. Believe, obviously when you go to bleed this system, obviously it kind of needs to be in situ when you do it. I think when you do, you actually remove the rear wheel, you swap it around like that, and you fit it the opposite way, sort of thing, or something like that. I'm not 200% sure, but I'm gonna have a go because I think that I can bleed that with it in situ. There's enough gap where I think I can get my tube around it, not too much of a problem. I'm gonna stick a tube around there and obviously gauge it out in a bit. And the problem is, because this is this side and the reservoir's on the other side of the bike, it's a bit of a 2-man job, not one. So I'm going to need another person there to do it. And obviously I want to make sure I know which one is. One is basically connected to your rear brake, the other is connected to your front brake. Well, it's not connected to your front brake. Well, it is connected to your front brake, but not by the lever. It's by a little what's it on your left side. There's like a push rod, like a second lever. So I'm saying this combi brake system on this VFR is very complex. Quite hard to explain. Even I just about barely understand it. Anyway, I'm going to give these a little clean up as well, because if you want to bleed them, you can get these bits replaced. I'll give them a nice clean up. See, same again, copper grease on the bolt, got it off every time. So at a certain point, we'll wiggle it loose. Best way is like hang on and pull on it, there we go. And yeah, it's not too bad, but I can shine that up. Pretty okay, that is. Fair, pretty nice tied up, that'll work. And our paddies. Let's check how they're doing. They're not too bad. To be fair, one's a bit worn than the other, but they're not too bad. I've got a bag of pads upstairs. I'll match them up if there's any bit with a bit more meat than this, we'll swap, but to be fair, they're not bad. Could do with a clean up obviously, but for the upcoming tour, that's more than enough meat. And I'll bring the spare pad with me anyway, because as you saw, I can do this roadside. It's on the send stand, it doesn't even need to be on the send stand, to be fair. Yeah, as you can see inside, they get very dirty. You got your 3 pistons here, and this is where I'm on about the combi brake system. You watch all 3 brake, well, all 3 of these, and I'm going to go and press the rear brake. Well, I have to be able to do it. The camera can actually see. She wants to sit like that. Just wonder if I can get to a position where you might be able to see what's going on here. You can, but unfortunately I won't be able to hold it. Well, here's a good example. I'll press the front. You can see them all here. This is me pressing the front. Oh no, my bad, not that front. This one. Show you. This left front brake, as you can see, it's on a bit of a pivot. basically when you brake, so when your front brake applies some of the pistons and brakes, naturally it grips on and goes up. See what that does is that it brings your middle piston out. So every time you brake, it's not the front lever itself, but that bit slides up and it does that. That moves your middle piston out. When you're trying to pump the pistons out for cleaning, naturally, you got to pump different systems. So for the other two, if I go to the rear brake, that should now just go like that, as you can see. You see, the other two start to pump out. First off, to begin with, you want to pump them out a little bit to clean them up before you push them back in. But we'll leave it now. Well, we won't pump it out anymore for now. We'll give it a good clean up first. Yeah, I've got there with some meat. They're not sinted like the other ones, they've still got a nice pair of meat in them. The beauty about this bike is the pads, they're the same for the front and the back. So, and I've got an old setup, the basic one set upstairs, put simply. And a set of brake lines upstairs. Actually, they came with a lot of spare pads, so if I can find a set to match, we're good. So set there, but not too far off the ones I'm running now. So I think we might be okay just running these. I can run them if needs be. Which I might do, to be fair. They look a lot thicker and fatter. Comparison. You can see the two. There's plates on the back as well, so you need to swap these plates over. These anti-judder plates if you are going to do it. To be fair, I'm just going to leave them on. More than enough meat there to do a trip. And I could just bring these with, and if I do need to throw a set in, bang, I've got them. Don't even know what make they are, to be fair. Yeah, we'll keep them for now. They've got plenty of life on them. There's still plenty of meat left on there. And I'll just take a pair with me for touring. I need a brush for that. Talking. Alright, so we just start off cleaning now. Same again, there's a boot slider piece here, I'll get that off in a second. Nice tub of soap, or a bit of soap and water. Is the best way to start off, and you'll get the worst of it out. You've got a metal pin here, or metal piece here, and a metal piece here. Yeah, that's the camera's getting. A bit for being on a tripod. What do we do there? I'll try and keep in the camera as best I can. Oh yeah, I do upload a lot of these videos without watching them. It's just me doing them. I don't exactly know if the camera gets it, so if the camera's not doing too good, let me know. I'll try and do my best. Your basic clean up, get all the goop out, all the old crap. There's the back piece, let's dislodge that. All this, we'll give all this a good clean up before we get that together. There's another piece in there. If anyone says I'm cheating by using this or this in Levy's toolkit, think again. There's one in the toolkit. There's a wire brush and a toothbrush in every toolkit. So. It's not in Levy's toolkit, but it's in the back of her seat, so counts. Anything being stubborn, just get your bit of brake cleaner. It's wonders, you can see that other metal bracket here now. Should be able to dislodge it. If you use, very quicker, this in Levy's toolkit. Leverage under, there we go, it's coming loose. It'll work its way out, there we go. We'll give all this a clean up. Also as well, what you should look for, camera will get it, there's two holes there. They're actually drain holes, because the caliper sits like that. The caliper sits like that on the wheel, it's going to catch all the rainwater or not, so them holes are for drainage. So always make sure they're not blocked either. Yeah, just a toothbrush, the worst of it. The pistons, and the pistons, and a good scrub. Same work here. There's also, you got this here as well. Get your boot slider. Never ever forget your boot slider. Come off like so. Goes in nicely greased. Come off nice slow and come off nicely, and there's not a problem. Just clean these out, re-grease them. Grease don't look too bad in there, to be fair. Make sure these ain't damaged. These can be replaced. Same with these. On this one, I like my Benelli, you can actually replace these bits, whereas you can't on the Benelli. Well, one of them you can't anyway. There we go. Get that off. As far as we just what the toothbrush can do. Don't worry too much about the outside. You can clean the outside if you want. You can give that a little scrub up if you want. But it's the internals that always matter. What's inside that counts. Clean up's nice, it doesn't go amiss. Yeah. A bit. Yeah. Right, it's gone to 20 minutes, we'll have to do a two-parter. See you in the next one.